the story that I read about, and I want your guys' opinion on this, and I have my own opinion. So the only story I heard through the headlines, and this is why it's clickbait stuff, man leaves wife at airport because she went to Starbucks like 15, 20 minutes before the flight was going to take off. So now I read the whole story, and now I want you guys' opinion. I'll tell you mine. Here's the whole story. Man sparks debate after boarding plane without wife after she went to Starbucks. A husband and a father was forced to make a snap decision after his wife made a last-minute trip to Starbucks as they were boarding a flight. So this article says, this is from Tyla, Tyla. We all know how it feels when you're in a desperate need for a quick caffeine fix or a sweet snack, but one man has started a debate after he left his wife behind at the airport after she stopped at Starbucks. The 47-year-old man who lives in the Pacific Northwest, we're guessing Seattle or Portland, was en route to visit his 21-year-old daughter at her college on the East Coast. His wife, 43, I'm not sure what the age has to do with anything. So he decided at her college on the East Coast with his wife, 43 years old. He decided to share his side of the story on Reddit's I Am an A-Hole thread and gave his family the code name Jess and Meg. So this is what the guy says. Let me start by saying that traveling with my wife is not a great experience. I'm a very type A, like I have everything organized. I make sure that we get there where we need to be early, especially when traveling. My wife is the opposite. Very go with the flow. We will get there when we get there. I do my best to meet in the middle when not traveling by plane. The disgruntled husband recalled a separate incident when they were going to visit their daughter for a parents' weekend at her college to provide some backstory. Our flight was at 10 a.m. Our flight isn't huge, but not a tiny airport either. I told my wife that we need to be at the airport 90 minutes early, and we live about 30 minutes away. This being said, I want to leave at the very latest by 8 since we would also need to park and walk a little bit. Of course, I got up at 6 to make sure everything was ready and accounted for. His wife doesn't like to get up early. According to him, it took 5 attempts to wake her up. She eventually woke up at 7:40. God dang. She then went to make coffee, shower, and eat a bowl of cereal with the man saying, let's just say we didn't leave the house until 9. It ended up being a busier day at the airport than normal, and it took long enough to get through security that we missed our flight. The airline refused to refund their ticket, and the parents were forced to get new tickets the next day, leaving Jess feeling disappointed. Fast forward to the most recent occasion, when he and his wife were returning to see Jess to help her move. That's the daughter at college. This time the journey involved 2 flights. They landed at their connecting city with about 25 minutes to start boarding the next plane. We had to take multiple rails to get where we wanted to get to our terminal, he said. We got to our terminal. We had about 15 minutes until our plane was set to board. My wife tells me she wants to get coffee. There was a little market next to our terminal that sold hot food and coffee. I asked her if she wanted me to grab it for her. No, I want Starbucks, she said. Well, and let me tell you something. I ain't ever been to airport at any point in my life where the Starbucks line was short. If you want to find a long line, find an airport and find a Starbucks. I don't care if it's 4:30 in the morning. It's like they hire people to stand in line. I ain't ever seen a Starbucks empty at an airport. Well, Starbucks was a rail ride away and a little bit of a walk. I told her we couldn't do that. We don't have enough time. But the wife went off to get her coffee, promising she'll be back in time. Obviously, that wasn't the case. After the man tried to call her several times, as they call boarding groups, he was forced to make a decision. I tried to plead with her to wait a couple minutes, but she insisted that she couldn't, so I boarded the plane. He had to tell his wife to buy a new ticket, and he'd meet her at their daughter's. She got to Jess to school and seemed unbothered by the whole situation, didn't really want to talk about it, he said. I thought maybe she realized it was her fault and just wanted to drop it. Boy, was I wrong. We are now home, and she hasn't talked to me since the trip over a week ago and is insisting that I am an a-hole. So am I the a-hole? And the thread sparked a huge debate on timekeeping. One Reddit user replied, she is causing you tremendous stress, and she doesn't care at all. That is telling. So what if you have to wait a few minutes at the gate? That's the least she can do, not to cause you very reasonably that's the least she can do, not to cause you to be very reasonably stressed out. She owes you a big apology for the lack of consideration and the petulant follow-up. Another agrees. She's disrespectful of other people's time. She believes that everyone should and can wait for her, and she makes no efforts to make deadlines or change her mind when she is right. Well, a third person said, your wife is very selfish. Imagine missing time with your child because you thought coffee was more important. Is it her child? Hold on. Let me go back. I wonder if it's not her child. That's very telling. Let me say we're traveling with that girl. She began very tight. So I heard it's not her kid. It's his kid. Let me see if I can find another. Okay, BuzzFeed. Decided to board without her. Here's what people are signing with the husband. I guess it really doesn't. I'm guessing this isn't her daughter. His daughter is currently his daughter. So it's not her daughter, for one. I'm thinking my ex-wife would have been livid. Here's the thing. Yeah, the wife is completely wrong in this. I think he was right in leaving, especially if he's going to see his daughter. It'd be different if they were going on a vacation. Because here's the thing. This man is in a no-win situation. Because if he doesn't board the flight, his daughter's upset and disappointed. If he does board the flight, his wife's going to be mad at him. So you got to realize there's no gray area here. If he would have said, yeah, we got time, go to Starbucks, then he's at fault. But the fact that he told her, don't leave, we don't have enough time, and you got on another rail to go to another terminal, and in the end, it's a freaking cup of coffee. Let's put it into perspective here. The man is going to see his daughter at her college, and the wife's completely wrong here. I don't see any two sides of this story. The wife's just completely wrong. You can't disappoint your daughter because of that. And she still got there. And it's her own fault. So, yeah, I'm anxious to see what you guys say about this. But I think a lot of it has to do with there's a history here. And my suggestion to these two, don't fly together. Go on vacation, take separate flights. That'd be my suggestion.